Have you ever wondered if your dog knows when they've messed up and how they might try to say, sorry? Maybe they've eaten your dinner, chewed up your favorite shoes, or left you a surprise in the yard. It's enough to make any dog lover ask, do they feel guilty? Believe it or not, our furry friends actually have a whole set of ways to apologize, and trust me, they'll melt your heart in the process. So, let's dive into the adorable, hilarious, and downright goofy ways dogs say, I'm sorry. Let's start with the classic, the sad puppy eyes. We've all been there. You walk into the room, and there they are, your dog, looking up at you with the most pitiful eyes, like they just committed a crime. You can almost hear them saying, I know what I did, and I'm so sorry. It's the look that makes your heart stop, isn't it? You've probably caught yourself muttering, how can you stay mad at this face? You see, dogs know that we're suckers for those wide, soulful eyes. It's an evolutionary tactic they've perfected. Over time, they've learned that when they flash those sad eyes, their humans will soften up. It's like the dog version of batting your eyelashes, except they don't need to try that hard. It's honestly a little unfair because how are we supposed to stay mad at a dog who looks like they've just been caught stealing cookies? The answer is, you don't. You forgive them immediately and then end up giving them extra treats just for their acting skills. Next up, we have the classic, belly up, tail down, move. This is when your dog rolls over on their back, exposing their belly, and looks at you with those apologetic eyes as if to say, I messed up, and I know it. You know this move, when they do it, it's like they're saying, please don't be mad. I'm just a pup trying to figure this whole, being good, thing out. Let's be real. It's impossible to stay mad when a dog is lying there, paws in the air, looking so vulnerable. It's like when a child gets caught doing something naughty, but they suddenly offer you a hug and a cute smile. Dogs are no different. The belly up position is a universal symbol of submission and trust. It's their way of saying, I've messed up, but I'm trusting you to forgive me, and honestly, how could anyone resist that? You're left wondering if it's just a way to guilt trip you into belly rubs, or if they're truly remorseful. Spoiler alert, they are. When your dog is truly sorry, they might try to offer you their most cherished possession, their favorite toy. I'm talking about that squeaky ball, the chew stick they won't let go of, or that stuffed animal that's so raggedy it barely resembles anything recognizable anymore. It's their way of saying, I know I messed up, but look. I'm offering you my most prized possession in the hopes that we can go back to being best friends. It's almost like your dog's trying to say, take this, and I'll forgive myself for chewing up your shoes. I promise I'll never do it again. Sure, the toy might be covered in slobber, and you might wonder how much of it is held together by sheer willpower, but the gesture is incredibly endearing. It's like the canine version of bringing flowers after a fight. And honestly, when a dog offers you their favorite squeaky toy, it's the cutest apology you'll ever get. You can't help but melt, and suddenly, all is forgiven, until they chew up the next thing, of course. Now, let's talk about the slow and submissive crawl. This is when your dog slinks toward you on their belly, looking like they're trying to crawl under a rock to avoid facing the consequences. It's their way of showing you that they're truly sorry and want to make things right, but they're also a little nervous about how you'll react. It's like they're saying, I've done wrong, but please don't be mad at me. This move is hilarious because it's like they're trying to sneak back into your good graces, but instead of being sneaky, they're just adorably awkward. It's the dog equivalent of someone apologizing with their eyes down, shuffling their feet, and avoiding eye contact. You can't help but laugh at how ridiculous they look, but at the same time, you know deep down they're genuinely trying to make amends. And let's be honest, the moment they do this, all your anger goes right out the window. You're too busy trying not to laugh at their awkwardness to stay mad. Now, if you've ever been scolded by your dog for chewing up your favorite item, you might have noticed the excessive licking apology. Yes, this is when your dog goes into overdrive, licking your hands, face, feet, basically anywhere they can get to. It's as if they're trying to wash away their sins with a good old-fashioned doggy bath. They're like, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. And here's a little bonus slobber for your troubles. It's both hilarious and slightly gross, but in that adorable dog way that makes you wonder, how is it possible to stay mad at this little creature? And let's be honest, if they're licking your face, it's pretty hard to hold a grudge. You'll laugh, wipe off the slobber, and end up giving them a hug because their apology is so sincere, and, let's face it, kind of cute. Sure, you might need to wash your face afterward, but who could resist that level of affection? When dogs feel they've messed up, they might do the most clingy thing ever. Follow you around everywhere like your shadow. It's like they're thinking, please don't be mad, I'm here to make things right. They'll be right at your heels while you're cooking dinner, sitting by your feet while you watch TV, or even following you to the bathroom, because they just can't stand the thought of you being upset with them. At first, it's a little annoying, like, can you give me some space, please? But deep down, you know this behavior is their way of saying, I love you, and I'm sorry. I'll stick by your side until you forgive me. It's like having a little shadow that's constantly trying to make amends. It's so heartwarming that you end up letting them snuggle on the couch with you, and suddenly, all is right in the world again. Sometimes, dogs take a completely different approach to apologizing. Instead of being submissive or clingy, they'll go into full-on play mode. They might start running around, wagging their tail furiously, and trying to get you to play fetch or tug of war. It's like they're saying, look, I'm still fun. Let's move past this and go back to our happy times together. It's honestly hilarious when your dog switches from being a guilty little angel to a hyperactive ball of energy. You're standing there, holding the remnants of your destroyed shoe, and they're already throwing a toy in your lap, expecting you to join in their game. As frustrating as it might be, it's hard not to laugh at how they try to turn things around with their playful antics. And let's face it, it works. You can't stay mad when they're giving you their best, let's have fun, energy. Now, this one is an all-time classic, the guilty head tilt. We've all seen it. The moment your dog tilts their head to the side after you scold them, looking at you like they've just heard a foreign language. Their ears perk up, their eyes widen, and it's almost like they're trying to say, I'm sorry, I don't really understand what I did wrong, but I can tell you're upset, so, please forgive me. This innocent, puzzled look can be so ridiculously cute that you forget you're even mad. You just want to scoop them up and give them a treat, because who could stay upset when their dog looks like a confused little angel? It's like they're trying to communicate with you, but instead of understanding, they've resorted to pure adorableness. And let's be real, this one is pretty much a guaranteed forgiveness trigger. Alright, we're getting to the good stuff now. The next few ways dogs apologize are so ridiculously cute that you'll be left wondering why you were ever mad in the first place. You know that moment when your dog sees you, and instead of just wagging their tail, they start doing this full body wiggle like they're trying to turn into a worm? Well, that's what I like to call the apology wiggle. It's a full-on, enthusiastic display of excitement and remorse all wrapped into one cute little dog dance. They're so eager to make it right that they can't control their body, and it's like they're trying to wiggle their way back into your heart. It's such an exaggerated show of affection that it's hard not to laugh and give them a hug. You're standing there, fuming over something they did earlier, and then they wiggle their way over, and just like that, all is forgiven. It's their way of saying, I know I messed up, but I'm doing my best to make it up to you. Here's one that's super subtle but still hilarious. The guilt-induced sleeping position. After a bad day, your dog might curl up in the most vulnerable position they can find. They might curl up in a tight little ball, paws tucked in, or lie flat on their back, belly exposed. It's like they're trying to show you, look, I'm sorry, and now I need some rest to recover from all this emotional turmoil. It's as if they're saying, I'm completely at your mercy. If you still don't forgive me, I'll just lie here in the most innocent position possible and wait for you to come to me. It's so endearing that it almost feels like you're the one at fault for not forgiving them faster. Honestly, the way they sleep after an apology might be the most peaceful thing you see all day. It's a silent gesture that says, I'm ready to move on. When a dog has really messed up and wants to make things right, they might do the ultimate act of surrender. Curl up on your lap and take a nap. Now, this isn't just any nap. This is the, I am completely vulnerable, trusting, and remorseful, nap. Your dog is basically saying, I know I messed up, but I'm trusting you with my most precious possession, my nap time. Please forgive me. And let's be real, the moment your dog lays on your lap, all the frustration you might have been feeling starts to melt away. You can't help but smile as you feel their little body rise and fall with each breath. This is an apology of pure affection, and let's face it, you can't say no to snuggling with a dog in this state. It's like they've just turned into your little baby again, and suddenly, the world is a whole lot better. Plus, who doesn't love a cozy nap buddy, right? Okay, this one is a bit of a stretch, but hear me out. Sometimes, dogs apologize by trying to get you out of your bad mood with a walk. They might bring you their leash, staring at you with those big, hopeful eyes as if to say, I know I messed up, but let's go for a walk. Fresh air, exercise, and some quality time together might just fix everything. It's honestly one of the most charming things they can do. You might be stewing over how they ate your favorite pair of socks, but here they are, ready to help you forget it all with a walk. As soon as you grab that leash, it's like they're celebrating their victory in getting your attention, and off you go, walking together. Sure, you might not forget the sock incident right away, but that walk has a way of putting everything in perspective. Plus, how can you stay mad when your dog is pulling you into the fresh air, wagging their tail like the happiest creature on earth? Spoiler alert, you can't. Have you ever come home to find your dog acting like they haven't seen you in a decade, even if you've only been gone for 5 minutes? That's what I like to call the "I missed you" greeting, and it's a classic way for your dog to show they're genuinely sorry for any mischief that happened earlier. The moment you step through the door, they greet you like you're a long-lost friend, tail wagging furiously, body wriggling with excitement. This over-the-top greeting is their way of saying, I'm so glad you're back, and I really hope you've forgiven me by now. The best part is, this is usually followed by a bunch of kisses, which might be slobbery, but you can't help but love them, and maybe even a zoomie or two just to show how much joy you bring into their life. It's like they're so excited to be with you again that they forget all about the trouble they caused earlier. You'll laugh, you'll forgive them, and you'll enjoy those snuggles, knowing your dog is fully aware of their apology, even if it's a bit dramatic. Dogs don't always need to go the guilt trip route when apologizing. Sometimes, they'll go for a more self-assured approach. After a moment of mischief, your dog might walk right up to you, sit down like they're the king of the world, and then give you that, I'm sorry, but I'm still awesome, look. It's a little head tilt, a slight raise of the eyebrows, and the perfect, I know I messed up, but I'm still the best dog in the world, pose. It's like they're saying, yeah, I chewed up your favorite shoe, but look how cool I am. I'm still the best companion you've ever had, and we can totally forget about this little mishap, right? While this might seem like a slightly cocky apology, it's honestly pretty hilarious, and the confidence your dog exudes is hard to resist. You'll probably chuckle at their audacity, and before you know it, you're reaching for the treat jar to reward them for being both bad and adorable. Finally, the silent stare of regret. There's nothing quite like the power of the silent stare of regret when it comes to a doggy apology. You know the one. Your dog sits quietly at a distance, eyes big and round, watching your every move. No barking, no wagging tails, just a look that seems to pierce straight into your soul. It's as if they're saying, I know what I did was wrong. I'm sorry, truly, please don't be mad at me forever. This isn't just any stare, it's a mix of puppy dog eyes and solemn regret. They might not even move, just watching and hoping you'll make the first move to forgive them. And let's be real, it's a guilt trip of the highest order. You could almost hear sad violin music playing in the background, making it impossible to ignore the drama they've created. Before you know it, you're crossing the room, patting their head, and whispering, it's okay, buddy. I forgive you. And just like that, they'll spring back to life, tail wagging in joy as if they never doubted your love for even a second. So, whether it's through puppy eyes, belly rubs, or playful antics, dogs have a way of apologizing that's impossible to ignore. They might not understand all the nuances of human emotions, but they sure know how to win us over with their adorable gestures of remorse. Next time your dog makes a mistake, remember, there's always a furry apology coming your way. If you enjoyed these heart-melting moments, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, so you don't miss out on more tail-wagging fun in the future.